weren't charged with any major crimes. You were charged with
Pepper spray,
having a
pepper
Class
spray,
E
pepper spray.
substance when in fact it was legally prescribed drugs. You got charged with a firearm, uh, even though it was an antique. And
Oh yeah, conspiracy to violate the drug laws. That was another one.
The growing marijuana.
Oh yeah, and then I had a marijuana, the cultivation of marijuana because I had a little teeny weed plant.
that's fine.
In a pot. I mean, it wasn't even like a well-tended.
Appreciate you being honest. I mean, that's
We
that's fine. I'm sure all the perfect people out there watching are gasping right now, but hopefully the regular people understand that nobody's.
Now it is legal for me, so it doesn't really matter. It's for medical use.
Appreciate you being so honest. I really do. All right, so there's just sounds like there's a lot of things going on. Did you happen to notice a pattern? Was it the same policemen, the same individual officers?
Same policemen. Like I don't I think I said earlier, I don't recognize cops. I don't like keep up on who the cops are in this town. I've never planned on doing that. Yeah, now I guess they're all new, but I started to see the cops so often that I did recognize them. I did notice it was always the same cops. It was pretty messed up.
Okay. So how many times?
They came.
About 8 or 9 times, probably.
Yeah,
In the
altogether.
last
Yeah, altogether.
year.
8 or 9 times?
I had never gotten arrested until 2 weeks after the house got raided. Ever since then, I have gotten charged with assault and battery on Andrew. And some of the times are like completely bogus. Because
Have you ever called the police and
No,
complained
never.
that Amanda has hit you?
Positively not. Never in a million years would I ever do that.
Never. It's
You've never
crazy.
been charged with any crimes
Never.
until then?
Yes. And now it's just like one after the other
Do you-
after the other.
Okay. Do you remember the names of the officers that charged you, Amanda?
I
What are their
do.
names?
Alberini.
Alberini, okay.
Right?
That's the dog officer.
Yeah, he's the canine officer.
Yeah, right, canine
Is it-
officer, not the animal control officer.
Maybe he hasn't.
The one who, let's see. Yeah, well, no, Alberini's definitely arrested you. I've seen him
yes,
arrest you.
Yeah.
What's his name?
The guy who dragged me down the hall by my hair.
Dragged you by your hair.
Yeah.
An Ashland policeman dragged you by your hair at your house?
Yeah.
In front of like 4
j- Yeah.
What was his name?
Hit Fox.
Fox, Greg Fox. You mean disgraced ex-officer, Greg Fox?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's who it is. He's young, well built.
Are you sure it's Greg Fox then?
I don't know.
I haven't really met him personally. I really haven't.
I don't know.
Even
He
with
was
all the
the
history.
younger cops he was Alberini's partner.
Alberini's partner. Okay.
Yeah. And he grabbed I was sick in bed that day. Me and my son, we both had the flu. And he was actually sleeping. Next thing I know they busted down the door and
They
had
busted all
guns.
the doors.
All the doors down. Even my son's door, which no one was in. And it wasn't like it was locked. There was a handle. And he pulled me out of bed by my hair and dragged me down the hall. I was crying, and then he slammed me up against the door. I have pictures of me having black eyes from the cops. I have it's crazy, and
On other
and
occasions, though.
many
'Cause I remember
witnesses.
when the 2 cops in the front yard beat you up. I remember that, and I
Yeah.
couldn't.
What happened there?
I was out on bail, and I couldn't get involved. But she was basically, she literally told them, "You need to get off of my property." I didn't. You can't come into my house.
To my house.
You can't
I was
look into my
outside.
car. Nobody wants you to be here. Basically,
Actually, what
exerting her rights as an American citizen.
started was
Defending her constitutional rights?
Yeah,
I was
we neither of us had called the
constitutional
cops. They
rights,
just showed up.
and they were like, "It doesn't matter what you say." He literally said, "It doesn't matter what you say. We're gonna do whatever we want." Okay? He was like, "What are you, a lawyer now?" Because I was saying exactly what you're supposed to say, and he slammed me down on the ground.
Do you remember which officer this was?
Yes, well, the blonde-haired guy.
I don't know their
I
names.
don't know
I'm gonna
their
have- I'm
names,
gonna
but
have
I
to
can
look through everything. I don't know their
recognize
names.
them if I saw
What
them.
did he look like?
Blonde hair. He was young, and
Stocky, thin.
thin. I don't know. Yeah, like healthy. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other guy was
And he wait, this one slammed you to the ground?
yeah, they both did, and they both had their knees
I saw it.
on my back.
I couldn't.
What was the other guy? You don't remember his name, or do you?
She weighs like under 100 pounds too.
I do.
Yeah, no, I.
I'm
that.
little.
She's
I'm
teeny.
5 feet.
You know what?
So
They didn't need to use as much force as they did. It was clear. It's just ridiculous.
like
What did the
every
second officer look like?
time, brown hair, and he was
His
a little
partner.
chubbier. Yeah, his partner.
Kind of chubby.
Yeah, and I think he might have been bald, right?
I don't remember. I only saw him, and then the other guy came from the other side of the house. Like I didn't see. He like ran at you once the other guy grabbed you. I never really saw his face.
And it's crazy because whenever they come to the house, they come like, 4 or 5 cars
Yeah, they
in,
always come with
deep.
backup already, and I don't know why. I'm not. I
They
don't
think
have any
we're-
crimes
they're
on my record. I don't have
mobsters.
any-
After they threw you to the ground, what'd you say? They kneeled on your back?
Yeah, they kneeled on my back.
They put
Actually,
her-
both
they put
times,
her in a
the house
chicken wing.
raid and outside. And I had, leaves in my hair, a black eye.
You had a black eye?
I had a black eye, and it's in
How did you get the black eye?
From them, like, slamming my head down onto the ground.
These police officers gave you a black eye?
Yes, and I have pictures of it.
Well, they're gonna get one from this video. The disgraced former cops of Ashland, pro-union. Sorry, I'm trying to be unbiased, but it's difficult, folks. Anyway, please continue, Amanda.
Also, let's see, they just, I had, bruises around my, wrists from them, and, I just want to state that all these cops aren't there anymore, which, is a good thing, that they,
Well, Chief Roma did a good job there
Yes.
getting rid of those guys.
he's very, very
Yeah, 'cause
nice.
They have not given us any problems since
Yeah,
since
they
those
really
guys are
haven't.
gone. I haven't even seen the cops.
Except, no, that's not true. One time I saw a cop, and he slowed down and stopped. But I think it was because that whole warrant mix-up that they did.
Wait a minute. What do you mean warrant mix-up?
Well, here's my whole theory on this thing. They after these police officers have been fired, since they've been gone, we still had a couple open cases. The judge.
Hold on, I don't think people understand what context this is in. I don't really understand it. Let's no, there's a lot of information to get out. We'll just have to take our time. Let's continue on. Did they arrest the time that you were thrown to the ground?
Mhm.
Did they arrest you?
Yes.
What did they charge you with?
Disturbing the peace,
Disturbing the peace. Okay.
resisting arrest, which I did
Resisting
not
arrest, okay.
resist arrest. Andy was watching the whole thing, being like, "I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, babe, but they'll arrest me, if I do."
Right. So he can't defend you because he'll be
Yeah,
arrested.
They were literally beating me up.
Like they used the
I had
amount of force
bruises
that
all
they
over
would
my
have to use on somebody
body.
like my size in order to
I had a bloody nose
yeah,
too.
she was.
You had a bloody nose.
Mm-hmm.
They
And
put her
if you
face
took a
down into the
picture-
ground. I mean, they literally put their knee on the back of her neck and pushed her face right into the ground.
You had absolutely no criminal record until this happened. And anybody can check
that was the first time. Yeah,
Yeah, that was the first.
that
time
was
you
the
got
first
arrested.
time I ever got arrested.
All right. So when was the next one after that? What happened? I'll let whichever one wants to answer.
I ended.
when there was a girl running and this kid
yeah.
outside. They were they were 2 young kids, and the kid was screaming, "Amanda!" yelling at this
His
girl.
girlfriend's name
It was Amanda, and Andy walked outside and he was like, "Huh, Amanda's a crazy," joking around and stuff like that. And she was running down the street. She was they were younger. They were probably
18,
14.
19,
No, they were
18
like
years
14,
old. They were like
15.
18, 19.
It doesn't matter.
I-
So
It
anyway,
doesn't matter.
they were yelling Amanda, and your name happens to be
It
Amanda.
happens to be
So
Amanda.
So the
That's
police
the-
came
you know,
by.
the
when
next
I-
thing you know,
when I went outside to look and see what they were doing, you know, I just kept walked next door to the stores, what, CVS or over there, and got something to drink or whatever, started walking back, and the cops were in front of my house on my way back. And they, yeah,
Were they physical with you guys that time?
No, that time they weren't. Right?
no, what
Oh,
had
they
happened that
arrested
time,
you
they arrested me, and they sent you a summons in the mail.
Yeah, that's the time. Yep.
And what did they charge you with? What did they say that you
Domestic
did?
assault battery again.
And I got
Again.
domestic assault battery.
So you both got charged again with domestic assault and battery
Nothing
against
happened.
each other.
I
And
wasn't
did
even-
either one of you make any complaint to the police that time?
No.
I wasn't even at the house at the time when they showed up. I wasn't even there. Like, I was walking back to the house, and that's
Even our
when I got
neighbor
arrested.
from across the street,
The
who's
next
a,
day when I was out on
he-
bail, he came over and said something to me. It was
yeah,
like,
they
that was
said
ridiculous.
He saw them. They saw the kids fighting, and that then the next thing you know, we're getting like arrested, and he was like confused. He was like, "Oh, do you know those people?" Like, no.
All right. Was this the most recent thing that happened, or was there?
The most recent.
No, but there was another time. I was on my way home from. You and me worked that day together. Remember? We were on our way down that hill that's right in front of that
Oh, yeah,
building,
I remember
Kiddy
that.
Fenwell or something like that.
Right.
We were coming down
Main
the hill.
Street.
Yeah, Main Street. Yeah, we were coming down the hill right there, and
There was traffic.
yeah, there was a ton of
Stoplight.
traffic. It was like backed up to, probably, a lot farther than it usually is by the bridge over there. And for whatever reason, my truck was smoking or something, and we had gotten into an argument. I pulled over, let you out of the car because we were right down the street from the house, and you were just like, screw you, I'm walking home. So you started walking home, and I'm still.
I like the honesty.
I'm still sitting in the traffic, and
And I took the shortcut way because there's like a shortcut, and Andy like went down the shortcut way, but he had to cut around someone, probably not
yeah,
illegal.
it was a one way,
It's a
so I had to
one-way.
turn around and go back. So I couldn't.
So you drove down a one-way. Okay.
I didn't know it was a one way at first. All right, it's
So
not my
this
fault.
guy started screaming at him,
This
and Andy
guy-
flipped him off. And then the next thing you know, they said that
And I
a
just said-
police officer said they saw him punch me in the face.
Yeah, at first it was a police officer that saw me punch her right in the face. This is what he said I guess he was off duty, drove
So
to
the police showed up. Were you at home or on the street at
I
that
was
point?
sitting in
They were,
traffic.
right in
I
front
mean,
of
they
our
were like
house,
right
like,
there. I
right
mean, we're
down.
talking within minutes. I hadn't even gotten home yet, and I'm like less than a quarter of a mile away from my
I think
house.
I even had to
sitting
go
in
to the
bumper to bumper.
bathroom at the time.
And
Yeah.
so they pulled me over after I made the left-hand turn. They pulled me over. I think it was Fox and Kavanaugh were the two officers that were there. I remember.
Okay.
At this point, I was very aware that there's obviously something going on, so I started to pay more attention to it.
And are these some of the same faces you've seen before?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They got
and so they
Hang on a second. Or what? You want
Oh,
to say something?
yeah. When I started walking down the street, I turned around and he was pulled over, and so I didn't know what to do. So like I started walking towards them, and the next thing you know, Alberini comes and pulls up to me, and he goes, "What happened?" And I was like, "What are you talking? What happened?" This was actually the first time you got arrested after the raid. This was the first time you did, because I remember
someone
I was.